Hey, fourth grade, Miss Arsenault here with you. This week's lesson is on striking and volleying. For this lesson, you will need a balloon. Blow it up just slightly. As you can see, it's not even the size of my hand, maybe about 4 inches. And in addition, you will need a paddle. I created my own with a small paper plate. This is the size of a saucer, as you can see. Like the balloon, it's not even the size of my hand. I also took a ruler and just taped it on the back of the saucer behind it. You will also need a target, and for our target today, we will just be using a sheet of paper, a regular sheet of paper, typing or writing paper. Okay, I have my daughter Bria here with me to help with our demos for today. So the first thing that Bria is going to do is practicing keep it up. She's going to practice keeping the balloon in the air. In doing so, she's going to make sure that her arm or her hand stays parallel to both the ground as well as the ceiling. We discussed before the video that when we bend or flex our wrist, that changes the angle of our paddle or our hand, our striking hand, which will in turn change the direction in which the ball goes. Before she starts, you'll notice the shoes on the floor. They have created a boundary for her. So you can use shoes, you can use sock balls, you can use stuffed animals, preferably something that's not too hard to create a boundary. Our boundary is about 3 feet in diameter, just to challenge you to stay in one central location instead of moving all over the whole room. Okay, so Bria's going to start with keep it up. Just practice tapping it using the palm of your hand. Trying to keep your feet inside of the boundary created by the shoes. Okay, now she's going to return back to the center and practice again. This time she's going to count how many times she strikes the ball or the balloon rather while staying inside of her boundary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You count, Bria.
17, 18, 19, 20.
Now she can move her feet as long as they don't leave the circle.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
And 28 was her top score. See if you can beat that score. Okay, we're going to move on to the next challenge. It's called Bullseye. This is where you'll need your sheet of paper. You can see our sheet is right here, just along the boundary of her circle. She's going to come and stand a nice little distance away from the target, and she's going to practice an underhanded serve. Now, when she serves the balloon, she's going to first, I'll show you the position. She's going to first make a table with her hand, keeping her palm just like she used it for keep it up. She's going to rest the balloon there. With her serving hand, she's going to make a fist and rest her thumb on the outside of her fist. When you serve, you're going to want to hit the object, in this case the balloon, with the heel of your hand. The balloon is going to rest on your non-serving hand. You're going to step forward with your non-serving foot, aim the heel of your hand, then swing your arm back and forward. Just before you strike or serve the object, in this case the balloon, you're going to want to release your shell from underneath the object and then strike before it hits the ground. Let's see if she can put all those things together. Ready? Step forward with your non-serving hand. Your shelf needs to stay about waist high. and it's straight. You're not holding it, it's just resting on your hand. Okay, ready? Go. And she's trying to see if she can get her balloon to land on her target. After you served it, just reset and continue to try again. You can adjust the distance at where you are from your target. So since we didn't make it yet, we're going to scoot a little bit closer. Remember to step forward with your non-serving hand. Very good. Okay, now lastly, we are going to do something called paddle up. Basically the same thing we did with keep it up. This time we're using the paddle instead of our hand. Consider the paddle an extension of your hand. You're still going to want to hold it as she's holding it parallel to the ground. You don't want to tilt it because again that changes the angle or the direction of the ball. Just like before, you want to use small ranges of motion. The higher the range of motion, the more you're going to change the angle or the direction of the balloon. So go ahead and start paddling it up, keeping your feet inside of the circle. Remember, you can move your feet just as long as they stay inside of the boundary. Very good. Okay, reset. And now we're going to keep track of how many hits we can make without it touching the ground. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to keep your eye on the balloon. What number are you on?
15,
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29.
29 was her high score. See if you can beat the score. Remember keeping the whatever you're striking the balloon with, keep it parallel to the ground. Your hand at the beginning, the paddle at the end. You can also challenge yourself. Let's show them. You can challenge yourself if that's too easy for you. Let's show them how they can make it a little more challenging. Go ahead. So paddle up. You can practice rotating the paddle. She's hitting it on the front and then rotating her wrist and hitting it on the back. And another challenge you could do is switching the paddle from one hand to the other. Can you do that? Good. Very good. Okay, another thing you can do to challenge yourself is using a smaller object, or if you have a second balloon, you can blow it up even smaller, because the smaller the object or the target, the more challenging the activity becomes for you. One last thing that you could do to challenge yourself is decrease the size of the space that you are standing in. In this case, we used a circle. Again, it was about 3 feet in diameter, so you can decrease that size to maybe 2 feet and challenge yourself to stay in one central location. Good luck. See you next time.